Yeah, y'all, we getting the host back in. That shit completely
I was
glitched
like,
out. That
wait,
shit
wait, 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 wait.
glitched back out. Yeah, it's been glitching since the start of it.
I was like, damn, they kicked me out.
No.
That's crazy. Cause I was trying hard not to say nothing about Man at the Garden, because obviously I have my thoughts, but I'm really trying to get into the LA dialogue, which and it starts at hey now. So I was like, please don't cut me off right now.
We all thought we got kicked out like that.
Elon said, "Enough of you
Elon said, I'm
niggas."
tired of you niggas. What is y'all talking about?
He said, "Enough
Talking about black shit.
on my platform."
Nah.
And you muted me on my platform?
He
Fuck
sure
out of
bluffed
Nah.
here.
too.
Oh God, he's
I
out of there.
hate that because Kia, we was literally cooking just now, boy. Oh my God.
I just want to say I'm
I
not
feel like
saying nothing for the rest of the
he is
spaces.
like
Like
outlining her next piece throughout this conversation, and I love that for her.
I'm not saying nothing for the rest of the spaces.
Yes, you
Elon
are.
has
Shut the
ruined it
fuck
for Elon has ruined it for everyone. My voice will be going on mute. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck his kids. Fuck his
Nah.
grandkids. Fuck his great
Now, if the shit go
grandkids.
This
rogue
Fuck
again,
his
y'all know why.
auntie. Fuck his nieces. Fuck his nephews. F them all.
Yo, that was so crazy. We was having such a good
I
conversation.
was hot as hell, y'all. I almost burnt my fucking gravy and everything because I was so fucking confused just now.
I'm looking for Yan to tweet or something. I'm like, bro, like, what
Yeah,
the
we was
fuck?
right in the group chat like,
I'm
Yo.
yo.
not talking for the rest of the spaces. Elon does not deserve my talent. I'm so sorry, guys. But this is just unacceptable at this point because,
he
like,
been trying you all night.
all night,
He
and I just
literally
feel like
doing this all night. This is crazy. Like,
he really tested my
yo.
gangster. And at this point, like, if you are listening, pull up and find me. And I personally want to fight like right now, like dead ass. Like I got sweatpants on,
If
so all I
if you
gotta
are
do
listening,
is
pull
just
up and find
all
me.
I
It's
gotta do is just put
crazy.
my sneakers on and we can go outside and we
Right.
can handle this like two adults. But
Elon.
am I want you to know, Elon Musk, that like I have a spiritual altar and I will do bad things with it if you want me to. I've been being pretty positive with it because I try not to go to the dark side, but I am touched. So if you want to fuck
Yo.
with me and my
Well,
ancestors,
that's why it says key at the garden. We got
no,
it now.
no, really. Yeah, I told y'all I'm powerful. I told, look, what did I say? Kendrick made this song for me.
Somebody put that nigga name in the shoe.
I just feel
Put
like,
his name in the shoe
no,
is
I'm really, Al,
hilarious.
I'm
Oh
really
my
finna get in my
God.
bag tonight on
Put it
Elon.
in the freezer.
No, really, I'm gonna wrap him up and put him in the back of the freezer because I can't. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't even know what I was saying, but I know we
Okay,
got
disclaimer,
trigger
disclaimer, because y'all
trauma.
know you gotta do it nowadays. You guys do not play with powers and do not play with
Oh
stuff that you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
are not
yeah,
aware of, because
yeah,
we gotta get a disclaimer.
yeah. Please do not go looking up something and trying to do something. No, you leave that to the
Facts.
professionals, please.
Please
Facts.
don't.
What was I saying before? Elon's rude, disgusting, pale ass.
I don't even remember.
I think we were kind of all um
Dissecting
coming to
man.
an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
coming to an understanding that we got where you was coming from with the fact that he was talking to somebody directly
Yes, because we said
on
that
at the
Yeah.
garden.
he didn't necessarily is we were saying like divide and conquer when it comes to Cole and him actually being able to talk.
Yes,
Yes, there we go.
yes.
We got your
So
sister. We got your sister.
okay, thank you. Hold me down because
I
I
want
was.
to say too to that point, two things could be true at once. Like I feel like
No,
it
I
could be both.
agree. No, I agree because honestly, I didn't think of like to be honest with you. I guess I wasn't thinking about it as him talking to himself because I got that from reincarnation. Like Satan with that lyric, especially that ending part where he has that whole conversation with God and he's questioning, and he's saying like, "I don't like violence," and I guess the perspective of God is like, "Yes, you do like violence." So I was getting it from that point of view, and I just felt like Man at the Garden was like you know how like okay, and I might have to use a personal example, so like let me know like how y'all feeling, whatever. But like when everything was going down with the whole like journalism conversation, X, Y, and Z, whoop, 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 I remember feeling really, really angry about it because I felt like you have people that have put in the work, you have people that have kept their head low, did what they needed to do, X, Y, and Z, and then you got these motherfuckers who ain't never did shit, or at least haven't put in the type of work that you and the people that you know put in, and they come in and it's just like all of these people got the things they want to say, how they feel, how they come in with the energy, and you're angry about it because like he says at this part, like how annoying does it angers me to know the lames can speak on the origins of the game I breathe. That's insane to me. And so like I was like taking it from the perspective of, yeah, I get it. When it's like, no, nigga, like I really like care about this game, whatever it is that I'm doing. I care about this sport, this music, this whatever. And like you niggas come in here and y'all don't even know yourselves enough to want to know something. Like move. Like that's kind of what it took me as, because I kind of view Kendrick as the type to crash out and talk to God later. Which is why I like understood that. But I'm glad that y'all did give me that perspective. Like, no,
He
I feel
just like me for real.
no, for real. Like, so that's why I'm glad that y'all did give me that perspective. Like, no, I feel like he could be also talking to himself and saying, no, this is what I've done to like get what I deserve. Because then it could also be, I think sometimes too, when we crash out in that kind of way where it's like, no, motherfucker, you don't know what I did, what I put in. It is us almost kind of talking to ourselves too. Cause it's like, we get so jaded by our work and what we do. And when we feel like we got disrespected or slighted, that sometimes when we take our aggression out on others, it's also us kind of reminding ourselves, no, this is who you are. Like, this is what you've done. No, you deserve this just as much as this person. So I like to have both
And
perspectives because I think it is true. Like I said, having that angel and devil on your side. So no, we were having a
And
good
not
convo before Elon's musky ass.
and I just want to add, not all crash outs are bad because
Facts.
yeah, crashing out could be what leads you to getting all those things that you want. You just have to get some chest. Well, you have to get some chest. Wow, Al. You have to get some shit off your chest first. Like, I'm a firm believer in if you got to cuss that nigga off because that way you feel better about it and you can move on.
yeah, and honestly, that's
Yes.
for me personally, that's what I was trying to explain. I feel like the way that I interpret it is how you look yourself in the mirror after you crash out and you're trying to justify the crash out. Like, yo, am I really crashing out? Am I tripping? Like, and then you reevaluating like everything you did. Yeah, I crashed out in this way, but also I did this and I made sure that I did this in this way and I was on code and I wasn't tripping and I made sure I did everything with integrity. So I deserve to crash out. I deserve the shit that I'm getting because like I did everything the right way. Like and I think sometimes you have to talk to yourself to walk yourself through the crash out to know that you crashed out for the right reason. Like it wasn't just in vain. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of what I heard was him trying to justify like, maybe I wasn't crashing out because I deserve all of this shit. Like
Yeah,
and I
you
and y'all
niggas
need
just
to
got
know
me
that.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
And that's
niggas
what
just
I
got me
took
Yep.
from
fucked
Right.
up.
it.
We were
That's what
having
I
such
took
a
from
Joe
it.
Budden level podcast convo with
Yes.
multiple crash outs at the same time that all
Fuck
made
that
sense.
nigga. Fuck that bald headed ass nigga.
I I mean, yes, but also you know what I mean. Like you know how like Ish be having his perspective and Ice be having like I fucked with that moment. Like I really fucked with that. I ain't gonna hold you. I thought that was like an iconic
It
moment
was
between all
really
of
good,
us.
We
yeah.
was eating.
It was
We
really
was
I,
eating.
good.
We potting
I think
Agreed.
now. We potting now. Okay.
We
speaking of
potted.
we are potting, I
We
think to
still
the point
potting. Fuck out of
of
here.
like he's trying to justify the crash out. I think another thing to be stated is even though Kendrick is very like he stand on business, he say what he say with his chest and he don't give a fuck and when he hates you, he hates you. I think that in order to have that in you, you also have to have like a level of empathy. And it's not lost on me that he probably feels some level of empathy for what he did to Drake's career because
Right.
I was having this conversation yesterday like I have never seen like when Nas won the Ether battle against Jay-Z, like he fucking demolished Jay-Z with Ether. However, nobody then went and said, I'm not listening to Jay-Z's music. Nobody then went and said, I got the ick from listening to Jay-Z. Niggas have a universal ick listening to Drake, and that sucks because I was a Drake fan like since like 2008. So I'm like, niggas literally have the ick, and the only thing that I could think to myself is this is another man's like livelihood. This is another man's bread and butter. Regardless of what you want to say, Drake was arguably in the GOAT conversation before all this shit happened, you know? So imagine if Drake wasn't up a quarter billion. Like that nigga would be starving right now because people is not fucking with him. Like, you know, so I think that it's not lost on me that he has kind of like a level of empathy there, but it's also just like a, oh well, I did what I did and I got to be kind of audacious about it. Like you can't cower after the crash out either. You kind of got to just stand on
You
business
ain't
because you
wrong,
already did it.
Queen. Clock
Yeah.
it. You ain't wrong.
No
Yeah, that was
facts.
a bar.
Cause
That
I'll
was
be crashing
facts.
out and then gotta stand on business after I crash out, and it'd be like, damn, I did kind
Same.
of
Like
bug the fuck.
it's like, oh well,
Well, shit.
we here.
We here.
Like dang, I gotta
Okay,
right.
I did
You
it.
know, boom.
Maybe I'm sorry. I was in a different space, but it was needed. It was
No,
necessary.
that's
It
not
Exactly.
was
what I
necessary for
say.
everybody.
I be like,
Yeah,
I
but to
And
somebody's
apologize if
point
you did something
though,
to piss me off. Sorry.
but somebody made the point too, which I think is valid. Like sometimes you need the crash out to grow. Like it might have hurt somebody's feelings, it might have fucked
Al.
up their bag, but like we need to get to a different space, and maybe the crash out is what we needed to get there. Otherwise, we continue down the same path.
And
facts.
I'm
And
gonna
then
be honest.
also
I don't really think, to be real with y'all. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm still gonna listen to some Drake music. Like there's nothing
Same,
that really has been super detrimental,
same.
because let's be honest, niggas was both throwing slugs and nothing came out really to, like, be like, okay, this shit is true type shit. But outside of that, like I don't really think people understand, like, yes, this did expose a very weak area for Drake, for the real niggas. But we also got to realize we don't have a lot of people that think like us necessarily. Is very we're the minority. Is the majority of people that are still Drake fans, are going to listen to Drake's music, because Drake, honestly, you can't take away his credit and his impact and what he's also contributed to hip hop, regardless of how you feel because of the exposure point now. But nothing is really going to happen to Drake. Like, I need people to really understand that. Like, first of all, the nigga's half Jewish. Nothing's really going to happen to him in this music industry. Second of all, like, he's developed and built his own star power. So there's really no casualty that happened to Drake except for his ego. And if he was to take a break,
Woo.
like everybody has been suggesting, like, nigga, you just lost this fight. You need to sit down, recuperate, regenerate, come back again with some other shit, and maybe you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing
Yeah,
that's
maybe you
gonna
need your own
happen.
man in the garden, Drake.
May
I would
and
love
But
and
it's
Drake's
like,
own man in the
yeah,
garden.
yeah,
but
and
it's
that's
like Drake
growth
is
too.
one.
That's growth.
But it's like
Can I
Drake is one of
interject?
those people where it's like,
Yeah, and I got a
yeah,
big
sure, give
question
me.
for y'all too, given that y'all talking
Oh,
about this level up.
sure, no problem. Actually, it's two people already raising their hands. So if you like, I'll just have you guys go after them if that's cool. But yeah, like actually I think with Drake the funny part is like we saw he was invited to what's the all white party, what's the name be having? I can't think of his name, the little football dude. Um but he was at the party and that was in the midst of
Rick
when every
Rubin. Oh,
Rick
not Rick
Rubin.
Rubin.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Rick Rubin. What's
Is
what's that
it?
nigga?
It's
No, it's not
Ruben
Rick Rubin.
something.
What's
It's
that
a
white man
Ruben.
name?
What's that white man name?
It's
That
Rick
be throwing
Rubin.
that white
Ricky Ricardo. Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Michael Rubin. Michael
Michael
Rubin. Rick
Rubin.
Mike
I'm
Rubin
gonna
is
say
Rubin.
Rick
Rick
There we
Rubin.
Rubin is
go.
the other white guy that
He's
be
the other
walking
white
around with his shoes
man,
off.
the
Yeah,
music
no.
industry man. Yes.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
meant Michael Rubin. Thank you. But yeah, he was at the party, and I think that was after Not Like Us dropped it. And the nigga was still around Jay Z and Beyonce and everybody else and around. Like nothing has happened to Drake as far as like who he is. Like he, unless something detrimental does come out and there is evidence, he's always going to be Drake, right? But I think what Kendrick did kind of changed the way we viewed him culturally, as far as with us. Like
Yes, I
we
agree.
gonna look at him there in the sense of like he can walk in the party, we gonna be, look at this nigga. Like, look at this nigga. Like, hey, what's
But
up, Drake? Look at this
we
nigga.
count for a lot. Real niggas count for a lot.
Yeah, we
We
do.
do. We do.
We
We
do.
do.
All right, who next up? I see a couple hands. We got a couple hands raised. We got a couple girlies coming up. Hold on. Who had their hand raised first? Because I'm sorry. I don't want to jump.
uh, the first hand was Sharky. His hand went down when he started talking, but his hand was up.
Okay, Sharky, you want to go?
Yeah. I think my inner take on this album was this is the first time Kendrick was really big on holding himself accountable for the mess that he just made. If you listen to like Man at the Garden is based on a painting by I think it's Pierre LeBlanc, where it's about the biblical aspect of did Adam ever deserve to be in the Garden of Eden? And I think he's literally telling people why he deserves to be in the Garden of Eden because he's constantly attacked for his moves being somewhat seen as self-interest or self-cynical, and he's holding himself accountable to the aspect of, hey, like, yeah, I am doing this for my own glory, but I deserve it because I took the hard, long route. You get me? Where everybody else falls out with their crew, I don't. I put my niggas in beachfront houses. I changed my friend's life. I maintained, you get me? Like all these things that he said he's done for his folks. And if you listen to The Heart Part 6, I want to say second and third verse where he holds himself accountable in his own ego of saying, hey, I want to leave TDE and see what it's like to become an executive. And his ego overshadowed his friendship with Top and those people who believed in him and those people who, like he said, was homeless with him. You get me? He had a home to go to. He chose not to go there, but his homeboy was literally homeless. And he kind of wired them out of his contracts or out of his situations because he wanted to see what it was like to be an executive, because he wanted to see what it was like to be truly independent, you know. And I think he kind of just, like you said, bold himself down to accountability. People are telling him, say, you don't work with LA artists. So this was his time of like, hey, let me work with LA artists. It wasn't really an aggressive album. It was super introspective, a lot of reflecting going on. I mean, it's typically what he does, but I think this was the first time where he held himself accountable for at the moment. Typically he holds himself accountable for his past, you know, where he speaks about damn his family, or he'll speak about his childhood upbringing, or he'll speak about just little aspects that are foreshadowing or previous. This is the first time where he's literally holding himself accountable in the moment of, hey, I've done this and I'm doing this, and I'm flawed as a human too. And I think that part is really being kind of overlooked, so we can kind of like prop a guy's drama and mess and things like that, instead of just, this is a great body of work. This is a great body of work of a man holding himself accountable, saying like American made. You get me? The GNX car is literally out because America kept losing to, I believe, Ferrari. And so they make the GNX. You get me? It kept losing to a foreign adversary. America kept losing to this foreign adversary known as Drake. And here he came with this thing that defeated Drake, that defeated this foreign adversary and things like that. I think this, like I said, this album is uh, real big on self-reflection, real big on just who he is and what's going on and what his current state is. I think it's dope in that aspect.
I do have a question to what you said, right? Because I think a lot of Kendrick's work deals with guilt. Even going back to Good Kid, Mad City, like the ending voicemail from his mom is like, "You're afraid to come back home, but it's okay. Nobody's gonna judge you. You can come back and tell these kids your story of what happened, right?" And then we get to Pimp a Butterfly, where he went to Africa and he did some soul searching, and he came back and he had this bit of survivor's guilt because a lot of his homies were dead, or a lot of his homies didn't get where he got, so he's feeling this guilt. And then we get to Damn, and it's like he's reflecting on society, and he's like reflecting on his place and his ego as far as like how he deals with the world. And then we have Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers, where he's kind of addressing the trauma that he's dealt with. And so I feel like this theme of guilt has continued throughout his work. At this point in his career, what do we think he's really guilty of, or what do we think he's trying to absolve himself of? Because, right, if we're dealing with biblical references, at some point you absolve yourself of guilt, right? Like Jesus literally crucified himself for the sins of everyone else. So, well, not crucified himself, but you know what I'm saying. He carried his cross and was crucified for our sins. So I do wonder at what point, like, what guilt is Kendrick carrying now?
A
I think it's the
body.
current guilt, right? I think it's the current guilt of, one, this was done in a cynical way. This wasn't done for like hip hop. This wasn't done for me and you. This was done because one man's ego said, hey, I want to be number one. You get where I'm coming from? Even the whole J. Cole shit, like, you're not gonna choose a side over who's number one. Fuck it, you can take this fame too. Bitch niggas like bitch niggas. That's his style. Like, it was very, like I said, his ego was the thing, and I think he's addressing his current state of ego. Like I said, when you bring up Damn and records like that, he speaks on not being able to live a full life because he lived in fear of his mother saying she's going to beat him. And hey, don't mention that you grew up on Section 8. And previous albums where, hey, his father, you get me, left emotional scars on him, or his homies leaving scars on him. Like, this was the first time it was like, in this exact moment, let me tell you guys what I, you know, what's going on. And just holding himself accountable, like I said, of leaving TDE, of leaving Black Hippie because he thought he was too good for their ideas. You get where I'm coming from? Those being his friends, those being people that they were pushing their career first, and they put their careers on the side to really uplift him and up push him. Like, his guilt in that, his guilt of knowing that, like, he's seen as this messiah, but there's a lot of flaw shit on his record in his own eyes, not my eyes, but in his
I
own
want to
eyes.
get
You get me?
I want to get back to that
Can I
point.
ask you guys a question?
Sure, no problem. I want to get back to your point though. What's your wait? I'm sorry. What was your name? Sharky. I actually want to
Shark.
get back to that shark. I want to get
Yeah.
back to that point. So remind me of that because I actually took that part a little different. I actually it made me think of Michael Jackson and his brothers when he wanted to leave the group and kind of do his own thing, or like just this idea of like, should you feel guilty for wanting to do what's best for you? So I want to get back
Right.
to that
Yeah.
shark when we have that combo because I took that a little bit different. But you bring up a good point.
And I think he
Um,
tells you he does feel guilty for that, right? I think he tells you when he says, "Hey, I chose to be homeless, but my best friend Dave Free, he was homeless. The guy who is my manager, who was also my videographer, who also was helping me make beats, the guy who was also
Oh, I thought he was
defending
talking about
gangbangers
Schoolboy
for
Q at that
Yeah, he
time.
was talking
Sorry.
about Q. Yeah, he said Q was homeless.
no, 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 no. I suggest everybody rewatch it again. And he speaks on how Free was homeless and Free didn't have a spot to be. He spoke on Q basically being the homeboy and being kind of the later person to the group. And Q giving him the confidence of saying, like, hey, we're going to bet the whole house on you. We're going to push the house on you. Like I said, where people put their careers to the side for this man, for
But why
his
should he feel
acclaims.
guilty for that? Like
I
that's
mean,
just like saying Michael should feel guilty because he had to leave the Jacksons because he had to do his own thing. Like why? That's why I say I want to get back to that. I want to let them
I think
speak,
you always.
but I
you
want
owe
to
it to
get
your
back
I
to
people.
think
that. Okay,
If
I
you
want to
put
get
your
back.
ego, oh my bad, I'm sorry.
I want to get back to all of that because it is some people with their hands raised, and I want to get to them. But I want to get back to that point. Who was next
Let's
to
put
speak?
a pin in that and come back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, who was next to speak?
Pushing P. I saw his hand up.
Okay.
Rayhan was up too.
And okay, Ray, Pushing P, Ray, and Soul. Oh no, no, no. So Pushing P, Soul, and
I'm
then
third, I think. I
okay,
think I'm third.
okay. So Pushing
Yeah.
P, Ray, and then Soul.
Yeah.
Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Given y'all talking about different topics, I feel like mine's is off. Y'all was on it before, but the one that just came. But given y'all said Drake is on, I mean Kendrick is on a whole nother realm. I was going to speak on how do y'all feel about Lil Wayne comment, and then how do y'all feel about them going back? Because I feel like Kendrick is there and past there, and just y'all views on that. Would y'all like to see that as far as rap or hip hop is concerned? Not in a like they hate each other type of thing, because I don't think it's that type of energy, but just how do y'all feel about that respectfully?
I think respectfully, Wayne needs to worry about his dreads. Um, there's bigger issues to be
You know
considered.
what?
Um, and if he really took, I think who said this earlier? I think it was Mark who said it. Um, about the entitlement of Wayne and how we're now seeing that. I don't want to misquote you, Mark, if you did say it or not, but somebody in the group earlier in the first spaces said that. But yeah, it's just an entitlement. Me personally, I don't want to see it and I don't care for it because Kendrick didn't come at him in any disrespectful manner. It was like, listen, like I'm hurt by the fact that somebody that I look up to would not embrace me, but instead is making this a moment about him. And kind of in a way, you are kind of like throwing shots low key, you and your home base and stuff like that. So for me, I personally don't care for it. I don't need it. Kendrick don't need to address it either. He already said what he needed to say about it, and let's just move on.
Wait, what was the question? Was the question was does he need to address Kendrick? I'm
Well, I
sorry.
think was mainly about well, P, you can say because you're the one who said it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question?
No, it really wasn't a question. I was just asking, like, just how did y'all feel about it? Like, would y'all like to see it? Like, do y'all think that it was
Like Wayne versus
that
Kendrick?
part?
Yeah, that was it.
I
For what? For
I
what?
I have a theory that I tweeted about the other day that Kendrick is a known provocateur. He is known to be, provocative and try to literally poke the bear. So I have a theory that sometimes he's not calling niggas out because he hates them. He's calling niggas out because that's literally the culture of rap. So I wouldn't want to see Lil Wayne get slaughtered because I want to see our goats,
Oh, shaking the table. Oh,
our goats.
so
I wouldn't
no, the goat
Lil
getting slaughtered. Whoa.
Lil Lil Wayne was the best rapper alive at one point. He was. Not, is he now? No, but he was. And I we can argue down about that another day. But I wouldn't want to see him have a Drake treatment, but I would want to see something entice him to rap, to rap, to get his shit together, to get clean, to become the performer that he once was. just out of anger, even if it's out of a chip on his shoulder. And I think that Kendrick does that. He's known to do that. He had a verse on a Big Sean song. It was Control, and he literally called out all of his homies and peers at one point. And it wasn't on some like I don't fuck with y'all. It was more so on like yeah, when we rapping is smoke because this and that is that. And I think that I wouldn't be mad because I still listen to some of Wayne's newer stuff on features. Wayne still slide. Wayne still very much can rap. He can't perform no more because he's a junkie, but he very much still has bars. So I wouldn't be mad if something pokes the bear out of him to stop crying and start and get in the fucking booth. Like I wouldn't be mad at that.
I
And to
think
your
it's annoying overall. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
now I was gonna say to your point too, I feel like that's the essence of Kendrick just in general. Like I think his whole being and his music and everything just inspires other rappers to essentially perform at a higher level or aspire to perform at a higher level. And I feel like to your point again, he knows that. And I think that's why he pokes the bear because to your point, that is hip hop. Like hip hop is competitive. So for so many of these rappers to get so lazy. And I seen somebody tweet like, y'all niggas have gotten comfortable with being out rapped on y'all music, and like they have, and that's not rap to me. That's not hip hop. That's lazy as shit. And the fact that fans support it is it's not even just the rappers, it's the fans too. So I would love to see him elevate his game because of this whole shit. But again, I don't want to see them going at it because to your point, I don't think that Wayne is gonna be able to keep up with Kendrick, and that would just be a waste of everybody's time.
At
I don't
what
think we
point do
would
we
gain
feel
nothing
like
from it.
we're encouraging mess though? We're encouraging artists to be messy. At what point do we feel like, because like we said, these niggas ain't never said nothing to each other. Wayne has never slighted Kendrick, and Kendrick didn't slight Wayne. You get me? Like, I don't think.
Well, I think that
He
Wayne did
didn't,
slight
but
him. Yeah, he slighted him with
Wayne
that whole
did. He
yeah, that whole
did.
episode
He
shit.
said
You're right.
he said
I
He
verbatim,
didn't even I
literally
couldn't
don't
hear
said, "I
wake
was
up
everybody.
the
felt about the
sleeping.
way
Hold on,
it
guys.
evolved."
Hold on.
Yeah, because I can't hear everybody.
Let's have some order in the house. Remember the
Y'all
host,
messing with
which
my
is
ADHD.
Tatiana, myself, and Kia. We always get to say so. So respect the ladies first, and then we will let everybody answer. But I was just saying, as Jan was saying as well, that he literally did come at Kendrick, maybe not in a way that was super like crazy, but he did say, please don't wake up the sleeping giant. And we all know what the fuck that means. And that's why a lot of people was like, well, put it in the music then.
Is that not a
Well, I'm
response?
saying before that. I'm saying no. I'm saying before that. You making someone else's moment about you and essentially invigorating your fans to shit on the moment to make it some bullshit about Lil Wayne. That was a slight. Like I don't. There's no other way to interpret that because you were not guaranteed that slot on the halftime show. So it's one thing if that was your slot for sure, and then some shit happened behind the scenes, and now is Kendrick's slot, and now you feel a way about it. So you come out and do this whole thing and press run about how sad you are, but. For you to turn my moment into your moment is whack as shit. Like that's a slight to me. You are a legend. Like
I
as a
think it's
legend, you should be a class act and at the least, the first thing that should have came out of your mouth should have been
was congrats. Yeah,
congratulations. And then, but I do feel like I wish this would have been a great moment for me. Blah 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 blah. I'll work harder to maybe in another time I will have that stage. But for you to make this whole thing about you is crazy.
I think that's where he fucked up at though. He fucked up because he didn't verbatim say, "I don't have no shade against Kendrick, no issue with Kendrick. However, I still feel a way about my city." Knowing because the thing about this is this. I feel like it's certain and like I said, I think I kind of have an expertise in like culture and region discourse. And I think that knowing specifically that some regions just have a like a real troubled kind of like in a turmoil history. Wayne put New Orleans on his fucking back. Period. So I think that in a sense he is kind of entitled in the sense of like okay like you know he thinks that he's still the nigga he was and he not, but at the same time it's like when your own city kind of like doesn't respect you or doesn't give you like the homage, I think that he has a reason to feel away. But I think where he messed up at was saying, this is not about you. This is about the city of New Orleans. Because at the end of the day, like Lil Wayne could have damn near back in the day, like Lil Wayne could have damn near been the mayor of New Orleans for all the shit he done for New Orleans. And I know that just, I used to go, I graduated from school right outside of New Orleans, and just a lot about the culture and stuff like that. Like in that sense, I can see why he feels disrespected, but I think the way that he went about it was a little bit wrong.
I for sure agree it was unsportsmanlike, for sure. But like I said, I think he always aimed it at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl did the out of pocket. The Super Bowl chose some political shit. I think they more so aimed it at Jay-Z than they ever aimed it at Kendrick. I do agree with you guys when you say, hey, he should have been like, congratulations to Kendrick, because Kendrick's whole early rap is Lil Wayne. If you guys listen to the C4, C2, T3 mixtapes, that's Lil Wayne embodiment. You get me? He should have acknowledged that and showed that kid love. Kendrick has tons of records where he says Lil Wayne is the first big time rappers to really acknowledge him and show him love. He should have been that guy again. You get where I'm coming from? But I don't think Kendrick saying, hey, I think I let Lil Wayne down is a jab for Lil Wayne to get mad. And I don't think Lil Wayne saying, hey, the Super Bowl fucked me is a jab for Kendrick to get mad.
I think
In real life, we would
that
call these guys messy. In real life, we'd be like, this is some messy ass shit.
I
I think the other
actually
thing too is
wouldn't.
like I don't,
I actually
yeah, because
wouldn't.
I think he's expressing disappointment. I feel like expressing disappointment in somebody is not being messy. I think if he said you a fuck nigga because you didn't congratulate me, that would be messy. But he's literally just, I think he's expressing disappointment. I feel like you can do that without being a messy person.
And I think that like with this whole thing, like I know niggas in real life, if Wayne did like it's like if this was a different context, but in like real life, niggas would call him a bitch. Like you're doing bitch shit. Like that's simply what this is. Like, so what a nigga didn't get some like you didn't get something. All right, you take your L on the chin and you bounce back. Like he act like this the last Super Bowl that's ever going to exist. Like it's mad Super Bowls not though. It's a Super Bowl every year. So it's just like, I just kind of feel like
But it's not the one in New Orleans
but it
though.
but it don't
And
matter.
they
It
had,
shouldn't
didn't they
matter.
have
Like
already? Yeah.
yeah, it's already been one in New Orleans. Just because it's in New Orleans doesn't mean you're gonna get New Orleans. Like I think it's this level of entitlement that like him and just that whole Young Money crew feel. And somebody said it earlier. No, Mark said it earlier. Like I think we kind of lose context. Like this nigga been low key famous since he was 14, 15, getting money like that. Like with under young niggas. So he is kind of entitled in a sense where he does feel like he deserves something. And it's just like no, nigga, you don't. So what? It's in New Orleans. Now what? Somebody else got it. Like, move the fuck on. It's about to be in Oakland, I think. In one of these 2 or 3 years, it's about to be back in LA. Like, nigga, you could probably shut it down in his city. Like, why are you so concerned about this one moment? You didn't live up to it enough to get the moment. So now what? Move on and come back again. I just think that in real life, this ain't no messy shit. In real life, this is how a real nigga would respond. Like, damn, homie, I thought I got mad respect for you. Like, damn, I hate to see that my accomplishment let you down. Like you look like a pussy for that. And that's just like some real shit, like some real just street shit. You look pussy.
Yeah, to let somebody else accomplishment make you feel some type of way. I
Like
mean,
you're little
human,
fucking
but
Wayne,
yeah,
bro.
you're
You've
Little
been doing
Wayne.
this shit
Yeah.
for years. You are stamped in the culture. Like you are who you are. Nobody can take away what Wayne has done. So to like sit there and have this like pouty moment multiple times, it's like, bro, I thought you said you was tougher than Nigerian hair. What happened? Like I just don't.
But not only that, because kid, we'd have had this conversation. I feel like however
Hmm.
he feel, how he feel, if he want to drag for the rest of his life, then so be it. But to sit up here and not act like you wasn't dragging it and mobilizing the internet to kind of overshadow this moment, and then when he addressed it, then you double back as though you're the victim after you spoke about this more than he has. But the fact that he gets one chance to address it, and like everybody said, it wasn't even a diss. He just wanted to know, like, damn, you stepped in my moment. I'm kind of sad that you felt that way, but damn. But to sit here and double back now, like he's starting shit with you, I think that's where the bitch shit comes in at, because nobody was starting with you, but
Delusion.
yeah,
Delusion.
that was too much. And I put this no, I didn't put this on Twitter. I put this on Black Sky. The way that label loves to victimize themselves is ridiculous.
No, I agree. Like, if
Yes.
there's anything we've seen
Because
from them in the last couple years, they gonna play victim every single time.
because what did the pink hair lady say? talking
Yeah,
about
that's a fact.
talking about a young black man. She made this about the and they like Listen.
One thing
Them
they
Which
gonna
is
niggas
do,
so
they
is on
gonna cry.
crazy.
drugs.
It's so crazy because a lot of them I feel like don't say shit anyway unless they think that they get a spot on his stage. Like, so it's like let's start there. It's just a whole bunch of fucking weird shit. Like, I thought that whole shit was weird personally.
And
Losers.
I even told Kia, if in a perfect world, if it was anybody else, this would have lit a fire under their ass to go on the nastiest run of like either features or to even put on his own show. And then for him
That's
to come
what
back
I
and
would
do
have.
Wheezy Fest, and we saw like, come on, they're like, you weren't even remotely serious about the shit you were saying in your disappointment. So it's like, how you expect for us to be mad at you and you ain't even giving us shit to be mad at? But I digress. The rest of it is just stupid.
Facts.
Yeah.
So
So I guess to answer your point, Push and P,
yeah,
niggas don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm gonna be real.
Wayne just
I
need
don't
to
think
take
it's
it
gonna
on
be.
that, take his little L on the chin, and move on. Like, come back harder. Like I said, it's always going to be a Super Bowl unless something dramatic happens in this country. There's going to be a Super Bowl every single year, and even if something dramatic do happen, it's going to be one because white people love football. So he'll have
And
another
even
chance.
and it even got to be come back harder because I know that's a thing that people always are saying for Wayne. Like, let's be honest, Wayne is stamped as a rap legend in this bitch. He don't have to really come back harder if he don't want to. Like, that's just a real shit. What he can do though is just focus on what the fuck he got going on and continue to be a legend. But I think there's a common theme with that camp is that nobody knows how to be a legit legend. Everybody needs to talk and tweet and say their feelings out loud and not keep it in the fucking group chats. And now we got to know your thoughts that make us look at you weird, nigga. So yeah, he don't even gotta come hard. Just keep doing what you doing, fix them
But
dreads,
not
and
only that,
focus.
Milan, because I'm a full believer in it. Everybody has emotions; they can express it, but it's the weaponizing of your emotions, weaponizing your
Yes.
emotions, and expecting the people to riot for you. That's what I don't like, because that's that throwing your rock and then hiding your hands because you want the people to do your dirty work for you while you being the big ass crybaby.
Hello, we
Yeah, and that
see it
shit
all
is
the
whack to me.
time. We see that shit all the time with the fan bases, how they be utilizing that shit. But anyways.
Yes,
Um,
because Ray had his hand raised, and then I think it was a couple more people that came up. Well, no, nobody else came up on the stage outside of Pushing P and Shark. So yeah, Ray, you can go ahead and go.
Okay, I kind of wanted to dibble into the heart part six if we didn't.
We're skipping
Um,
around at this point, so yeah, you might as well just go.
okay, so I wanted to dibble into that or whatever, and just like the verses and just how he was dissecting like his come up with TDE and stuff like that, and kind of wanted to branch it off with like our own personal experiences and stuff when we get opportunities. Um, and with the whole conversation about guilt, and I feel like sometimes we have guilt when we get big opportunities and we want to share it, but then we'd be like, I don't know if I want to share this. I don't want this to break up this relationship, or I don't want this person to make me feel away. So, like for example, I think it was the second verse when he was saying how he was excited to be in like the executive rooms or be at like those the meetings for the signers and stuff for like J Rock and stuff, and just helping his family basically get it out the mud and just like really like let's celebrate each other. And then I guess he got that guilt of, okay, I learned all this, but how would I do it on my own? And will this break up my family? Will this break up the relationships with my brothers? And I feel like sometimes we probably were, or some people probably like were in a group, or like I'm gonna say for instance somebody like being in a group or whatever, and then they get this big opportunity of being like this star, and they like, but what about the people that I came up with? I think the guilt comes with like not wanting to hurt the people that we're so close to and the people that we like create bonds with. We don't want, or some people don't want money or fame to get in between the aspects of the relationship that they built because of the love and like the loyalty. And then like when it comes with like the whole fame stuff, or like not even just fame stuff, just anything, any type of opportunity, whether if it's journalism, whether if it's media, whether if it's in film, like just getting like a big opportunity and then like being with this group that you've been with, and then like you trying to tell them like, hey, I got this, or hey, I want to do this, and like trying not to hurt them or trying not to quote unquote be in their lane or like step on their toes, just to like, how can I put it, just to make everybody feel comfortable. And just listening to that song, it kind of made me just like trickle back on just like me and how like spoken I am on social media, how like I be talking to all these different artists and then like try to talk to my family and my friends like, hey, I'm cool with this person, or I'm cool with this, or I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then I just be still have that guilt in the back of my head, like, is this hurting them? Like I don't want my success to overcompensate or make anybody else feel less of what they got going on or what they going through. And I think a conversation of guilt needs to start happening, especially when it comes to like even in therapy, like just talking about this stuff, just like it helps us being able to like heal from these wounds or be able to like really go for our shit. Cause some of us be scared to go for our dreams because we don't want to hurt our family or our people. So yeah, I want to talk about that real quick.
Well, I know that's something that Shark was mentioning earlier when he was talking about that point. Um yeah, so I mean, like I said earlier, when I heard that part, I instantly thought of like Michael Jackson and his brothers. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that whole like story of them, but I think it's pretty well known knowledge of just, in a group, and Michael just kind of felt like, especially after Off the Wall, like I just need to kind of go off and really do my own thing. And it's not anything against y'all. It's just that I have dreams and I have goals and visions that I want to accomplish. And that doesn't include y'all. And, it caused a lot of tension between him and his brothers and him and his dad. And for years, he had go back and forth with them. Jermaine would do a lot of like bad business deals and put Michael's name in it, and Michael had no idea of it. A lot of messy shit that went on between him and his family after he decided to leave.
I think they
And
showed it in this in the movie that they do, American Dream.
but they don't go as in depth as I
Not in
really
depth,
wanted
yeah.
them to. Yeah, like
Yeah.
because I think that's because the family was so involved in that, so they really
Right.
didn't want to
Hmm.
highlight how much they were leeching on their brother.
But you can
But
tell in certain, yeah.
yeah, in certain moments, it's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. um, and I thought about that because that's like the main example that always comes to mind when this conversation of you come up with this collective, you come up with this group, and you start to have different visions or different goals that doesn't align with what this is. Um, I can see why someone would have guilt about that because, especially knowing the history of TDE, J Rock was supposed to be the star of TDE. He was the first signee. He's the one that got the first um contract, like the first like label signing, like out of all of them. And J Rock was really primed to be that person, but Kendrick just had that je ne sais quoi, as they say, that really made him a star, and everyone understood that. So I think there's a lot of perspectives there, right? Because from a business point of view, if I'm top dog and I see that one of my other youngins got the real gift that I need to focus on, it's almost like, and if you grew up with multiple siblings, you'll understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying, where
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
parent gives one child certain more attention because they need it, or they just see something in them that maybe they just don't see in the other kid. I know I personally dealt with that. My older sister got to go to a private school and go straight through to a 4-year university, and everybody was banking on her because she wanted to be a lawyer. But meanwhile, I was over here trying to be the journalist and no one gave a fuck. But meanwhile, she's not a lawyer, she's working at an insurance company and I'm a journalist. So, and not to diss my sister, but that's just the way.
Shady boots.
And
I'm joking.
I'm just saying that's just the way the shit went. And now it's the opposite where my family's like, yo, I never expected. Yeah, I know you didn't because you weren't focused on me. You needed to take all that time and put it into her. And maybe that's what she needed and what you thought she needed at that time. So for Top Dog, I can see that also being his perspective, even more with like, it's still a business at the end of the day. So if Kendrick is the star, I'm going to invest more time in the star. And I think everyone knew that Kendrick had the talent because all of them have come out and done interviews and said how we knew we were good, but we knew we weren't him. So they all rallied behind him because it was this idea of a community, right? That's why TDE has been able to last the way it's been able to last because they built this community of when you win, we all win. When you get to the top, I don't even need to question if you're gonna bring me up. So when he did the Black Panther soundtrack, no, J Rock was on there. J Rock won a Grammy with him. No, Schoolboy was on there. No, I'm gonna bring Absol on stage. Like he never left them, but he had to go and do what he had to do so everyone else could win. And sometimes that's the unfortunate part about being the talented one or the gifted one, is like sometimes you do have to be the one that got to stand on the front porch so that everybody else know they can come stand on the porch with you. And so I can understand Kendrick's guilt in that, of like, damn, it was me that did it. But also let's look at what they've all been able to do behind him. Maybe they all haven't gone on to be a Kendrick, but they all have had successes in their own way. They all have played type of role in defining what TDE is. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand his guilt, but I also think it was like him acknowledging, yeah, part of the reason why this didn't work out is because I had to go off and do the shit that I had to do, but they were understanding of it. You know, Q was in the studio with me, homeless, saying, nah, nigga, when you get it, we all gonna get it. Soundwave was letting me wear his clothes when I need to go on stage and be a hype man. We all played a role in this, and now we're all winning. So, yeah,
And
that's my
he even
spill.
says it verbatim. He says, everything I had was for the team. I remained patient. And if anybody knows what it feels like to wait your motherfucking term, nigga, then you
Hmm.
understand that
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. Like, so I feel like there is some, of course, what is it called? Would it be like survivor's guilt or something? I mean, not necessarily in this case, because it's like
I guess just
nobody's,
like a
but
guilt from
successors
success.
gifts or some,
Yeah,
yeah,
successor's guilt.
yeah, we can say that, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like the this one was one of my favorite tracks because obviously, I love the sample that they use from SWV, but I also love the history lesson that he gave on TDE and showing you guys the foundation of how it even came about, his emotions in it. And like you said, Kia, like, yeah, like, nigga, he was the Michael Jackson out of them. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't take any disrespect to any of them because they are all very talented in their respective rights, but they're all building blocks to this foundation that they've all contributed to TDE. So you can't take one brick away and think the foundation, you know what I'm saying? Like, they all play a part in keeping that roof on that building, basically. So for
Yeah.
me, I just feel like he was, have a little guilt, but at the same time, he's kind of like riding through the history and like reminiscing, like, nigga, like, like when you finally did some shit and you look back like, damn, nigga, I was really in the trenches. I was
Yeah.
eating noodles and fucking ketchup. I never ate that shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. That's why I
And he
fuck with that
didn't
record a
win off
lot.
with successes. Like, before you guys go, like, he didn't like just say, okay, well, I'm the one with the crown. All right, let me run it up and you niggas can come behind me. Like, he
Right.
even says at this part, I guess my motivation was the yearning for independence, poured everything I had into the family business. So it was like, okay, if we a family and if I gotta be the big bro that gotta go out there and get it so we all know we can go out there and get it, then fuck it. I'm gonna put my all that I can into this. So when I walk away, like, think about it from this context too, right? Kendrick has walked away, but we're still talking about TDE. We're still like, Doshi is the like biggest breakout artist of
Period.
this year. Like, TDE is SZA just had the biggest pop star run that we've seen from a black woman in like years. Like,
Literally.
TDE, he knew what he had to do. It was so much bigger than himself, you know?
And that's being a true sacrificial lamb in regards of what he was saying, which brings it back to
I mean,
biblical shit.
reincarnation,
Hello.
reincarnation. He
It
had to
brings
come
it
back and
back.
rewrite the devil's story. That's what he said. He said he had to say that. We got two
Nah,
hands
I love
raised.
this shit. I really love this shit, y'all.
I
I'm
love this hip
sorry.
hop shit,
I
man.
love this shit.
I love the shit. I love the game. I love the hustle. I love
I
this
love this
shit.
shit.
I love this shit. I don't know who had it. I don't know who had their hand raised first, Al or Shark, but whoever had their
It
hand
was
raised.
sharp.
Okay, Shark,
Go
then
ahead,
Al.
Al.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al. You got it,
Oh,
brother.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, real quick. I'm finna throw this meat in this grease. I just wanted to say, so I think the last, well, no, not the last three, but it was three tracks: the Heart Part Six, Peekaboo, and Dodger Blue. Dodger Blue. Damn, I cannot speak today. But I think those three were really a good moment in encapsulating like him grounding himself after the rampage he went on, and then also like y'all said, like having that moment of introspective. And I think it's okay. Like I like that he put this in music because like we all like came in at the top of the hour saying like how well, top of the third hour 3 hours ago saying how we all had our own shit that we were dealing with. And so I appreciate when artists do moments like these because it's okay to let us know it's going to work out in the long run, if you have to release shit. Like releasing things that's not serving you or stepping back from things that aren't serving you is okay. Because, like I said, it's part for the course. It helps you on your journey. So I think those three tracks really do a good job of him, like being humbled and looking back and like, yeah, I got the success, but this is where I come from. This is the journey. These are the different, like, shit wasn't easy. But knowing that I still stayed 10 toes down to me and mines and still held them down, even when I had to like step away, even when I had to like step back because they wasn't serving me, but it still comes back around to that point. Um, and it was survivor's remorse. That's the word y'all looking for. But I was in here chopping up some shit. But
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
I really think that would. I appreciate that because just in the moment that I'm in the season that I'm in, I needed to hear that like it's still going to work, and whatever is not serving me, don't be afraid to kind of say, hey, we might just have to go our separate ways, but the road is going to come back around. The road is going to come back around like a roundabout. So I like that part about that. I appreciated that to
Amen.
be in the later half after he'd finished doing like all the rampage shit.
You crash out, then you just relax.
To me, that ties into like the sequencing again, though. Just to circle back to that, like I feel like the album was sequenced in a way where you kind of you're feeling like you're going through the motions
Yeah,
of
a healing
dealing.
journey.
Yeah, literally, I was about to say that. So it's like you can relate on that level too, song by song, because you're experiencing the album in a way that you would experience going through your emotions about something that you felt passionate about that maybe didn't work out or whatever it is. And I think that's why so many of us are connecting with it because regardless of what we're going through, like I know Kia, you're talking about grief from the perspective of literally losing family members. I'm talking about grief from the perspective of grieving in the loss of a concept. Like I don't this concept does not exist anymore. We have to rewrite the concept now, and I'm grieving that. And all of this shit still applies because that's just the motions of going through your emotions and healing. So I just think he did such a great job of putting this project together in a way where we're essentially like on a roller coaster of our healing journey.
Yeah, and to your point, because I tweeted about that. Like, I think a crucial part of the healing journey is anger. Like, I've seen so many people try to like denounce the anger in this. No, embrace it. Like, a lot of our leaders, a lot of the we keep going back to Black Panthers and Black this, like they were angry, they were frustrated. Like, I think it's okay to admit that you've done the work. Like he said, I still have pain. He literally says that on Man at the Garden. I still have pain in me. So like it's okay to carry those scars and every now and then if you need to tap into that, tap into that. Cause sometimes that's what you need to kind of keep you going. Um, but we're gonna go to Shark, and then if anyone has any last takes on the album that they would like to get off, yeah.
After dark, I definitely got a little thing to
Okay,
say.
no problem.
I just wanted to say, I think it's crazy this conversation, right? Because in the song, The Heart Part 6, he literally says, don't let people on socials gas you up. You can really patch a lot of these things up with phone calls and conversations and reaching out to your folks. You give me, do not let ego become the thing that gets in your way. And I think fans typically have this, and I don't want to say fans, people typically have this romanticization with like top dogs and kind of justifying a lot of bullshit that people do when they're at a certain peak or position. You get where I'm coming from? He's even saying himself that he made kind of the wrong decision. And I'm in the chat and I'm listening to people saying like, "No, actually, he's Michael Jackson. He should have left Tito. He should have left Jackson. He should have left, this, that, and the third." And Michael Jackson also regrets leaving the Jackson Five. He regrets telling Barry Gordy not to work with his brothers because his brothers would invite his father, and his father made him nauseous. You get me? Like, those are the arguments that they've had with Michael. Is Michael blackballed his brothers because he was afraid of his father, or Kendrick, for instance, like I said, his need for independence, his need for the title of black executive, the need for saying, "Hey, I am independent." Like those things that he wanted for himself overshadowed shit that his friends had. Dave Free went to jail. They were mixing records in prison. You get where I'm coming from, to try and make money. They went to jail behind this shit. The phase that Kendrick Lamar didn't want to take, we talk about street nigga shit. The phase that Kendrick Lamar and them niggas didn't want to take, he's saying, hey, his homeboy was fighting on that shit. His homeboy's manager, Dave Free, was fighting about that shit. So to up and leave them because something in your head, something in your psyche, or something in your conscience says, you should be a black executive. That doesn't weigh. That's not Mr. Morale. And I think that's what's so dope about him is he can hold himself to real accountability. He doesn't need to necessarily bullshit himself. He's learning and growing with each project. And I think those are the things that we should kind of marvel at. You get where I'm coming from? Because you don't really see that with artists. Youth artists typically enjoy in the echo chamber that they're inside of because nobody really holds them accountable. And to your point about the Doechii thing, she is having a great fucking year. We made that album, and I think she's going to get a Grammy. And I'm excited for Doechii. I wanted to say that. But you guys
Um,
got the space again.
I think to your point, I'm not really sure about your point about Michael having regret. I think
I can
that,
send you the interview.
I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but I don't think that it's necessarily regret. Um, I think that Michael still knew that he needed to do what he needed to do. And I'm never going to be mad at anyone for feeling like I need to walk away or step away from this to be the person that I need to be. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Mr. Morale, your moralities are not always good. And he never said Mr. Good Morale. He said Mr. Morale. So I don't expect someone to get through life always not being the villain. Like at some point in your life, you are going to have to make some choices that are a little bit tough and that are a little bit hard and that maybe people don't understand. And that's the whole point of getting you where you need to go. Because if Michael sat back and would have sat with Tito and Jermaine, where would Michael have been? If Kendrick would have sat back and said, no, I'm not going to take any of the opportunities that come to me. I'm just going to let y'all have y'all wins because I want to see y'all win and not have anything for himself, then Kendrick wouldn't be here and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I think that it's unfair to say that like they should have stayed back or they did something wrong
He said
by
it, not me.
deciding
He
that it
said
was
this.
necessary. He didn't say that. He owned the accountability of like, yeah, me wanting to do what I wanted to do ended this, but that doesn't mean that he feels bad that that ended. Like that's the whole point of like we can sit down and have a heart and have a
If you
conversation
listen
and
to those
discuss
last
that.
8 bars,
I
if
listened to the whole entire album, so you don't have to keep saying that. So what I'm saying to you is the man verbatim gave everyone their flowers, told everybody, and he's done this for years in his career. So I still don't think that there's anything of like, damn, I should have stayed back. It's like, no, this is what I did. This is the story of what happened. You know? I think the other part is like, because I'm trying to remember everything that you said. But yeah, that's just the overall thing for me. Like, I don't feel like anybody. Oh, and about the whole Dave Free thing, he didn't leave Dave Free behind. Dave Free is working with him at PG Lane. So it's just like, I don't like. Kendrick did what he needed to do. He just dropped the Not Like Us video, and all of them were in there with him. I don't think it in any way, shape, or form Kendrick feels like, damn, I should have took a step back. No, I did what I needed to do. Yeah, this didn't work out, but that's okay. Like because look at where we all ended up at. Somebody had to do it. Like there has to be risk in life. Like there will be no reward if you don't take risk. He had to
Yeah.
do what he had to do. Everyone had to do what they had to do. So if you think you're going to make it through life always standing on your morality and what you think is right, you're never going to really make it through life. We are all flawed human beings, which is the end result of this project. So,
Yeah. I think
yeah.
yeah. I think it was more of a moment of reflection, like I said earlier, versus regret. I don't think he really has regret
he literally
for
says, "Hey, for the next up and coming people listening to this, do not make these same mistakes. Do not do what I did." That's I'm not trying to be argumentative. You feel me? I hope we having
He
dialogue
said
here,
to
but
conduct he said,
no,
let me,
where are
he,
it's
no,
always
no,
dialogue up here.
no. And
It's always dialogue up
I'm
here.
reading
I
verbatim
just
what
don't want to come
Reasonable
off as
dialogue.
argumentative. Like
Did
I enjoy
no,
y'all
no, you're not
conversation.
coming off that way, but I do want to read what he said. To all my young niggas, let me be the demonstration how to conduct differences with a healthy conversation. If that's your family, then handle it as such. Don't let the socials gas you up or let emotions be your crutch. Pick up the phone and bust it up before the history is lost. So all he is saying is to the young niggas out there, learn how to communicate with your people. I'm pretty sure him and Top Dog have had their differences. I'm sure pretty sure him and his niggas have had their differences. The people that know Black hippies history know that they were going through some shit outside of just really extended to that point. A lot of people were already talking about that. Joe Budden hinted at that at the on the podcast when he said they were going through some shit, but I'm not going to speak on that because that's none of my business. But like Kendrick is saying, I didn't go to the streets with it. I wasn't out here talking to people that wasn't the family with it. I took it to the family. We had a conversation. We were able to understand each other and we moved forward as a unit. That's the advice he gave.
Yeah, that's how I personally took it. I didn't take it as him regretting anything or like, yo, I don't, it was, yeah, that's, yeah. Oh, and for the record, just to let you and everybody know, like when y'all come on the stage, nobody's arguing. Cause trust and believe, we could just send y'all asses back to the gulag if that was the case. To be just completely real. But what we do like to do is engage. And Shark, you have brought some very valid points and good talking points to the conversation. So, in no means is it a thing of us trying to argue. We don't argue. We
No, no, I
have
didn't want to come off as I was trying to argue. That's what I'm saying.
no, 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 no. But
Y'all
I'm
understand this.
just,
These
but
are valid.
I'm no, I'm just making the general statement just for anybody to whoever may have even felt that way. Like, no, we're not arguing as long as it's respectful and people are able to get their points off, and you know what I'm saying. Like that's what this space is about. Hence, why it's called reasonable dialogue. Ching ching. But yeah. But okay. Oh,
Uh,
who
Oh no,
who else
I was letting
hands?
y'all go because I was like
I think
last
it was me.
comments, yeah,
Yeah,
or
no.
last takes, yeah.
Oh, so dang, I hate that. Or is this last takes? Like we finna wrap it up?
Yeah, girl. We've been.
Yeah.
It's about to
Okay.
be
Well,
3 hours.
because before it cut, we were in order, and I was trying to wait patiently for when we got into Hey Now and the rest of the LA esque dialogue because I just have to speak on that.
It's your time to
Um,
shine, baby girl. Go ahead.
so I want to kind of put them all in a group. Hey now, reincarnated can go in there also, which we already talked about, but it's like Pac, obviously. TV off, Dodger Blue, and Peekaboo. Arguably GNX too, but we already talked about Whacked Out and Small Blood. But like that middle part of the album, I think that to the point of regional conversation, there has been a lot of dialogue on whether or not he was trying to either steal Draco the Ruler's flow versus whether he was just kind of like paying homage to him. And I think that, in my opinion, if Draco was still alive today, he would have definitely been the featured verse on that song. And I think that Kendrick's display of like using a flow style or tapping into a certain flow style that we don't hear him do often, but it's still kind of in him is really, really fucking tight because he really captured Draco's essence like really beautifully. And I think it's also really dope that like right now, to be honest, Kendrick is carrying the West on his back. Like we got some few other rappers that are still here from the era, like the 2016, 2017 era where it was really like a niche. It's kind of like the era that I came up DJing in to where it was like these artists are very niche and very like they got their cult followings, but this is real rap music. And unfortunately, most of them died and went to jail, so we kind of had no representation of that like underground like niche category. And he's kind of like ushering in the people that are gonna come after the Dracos, after the Nipseys, etc., that are gonna kind of fill that slot. And he's bringing something out of them that like I had never seen before because most of these rappers, obviously, like me playing LA hip hop mostly, like I listen to them and I never see their full potential because they're always kind of like rapping about the same shit, killing, robbing, bitches, scamming, etc. But they're not tapping into their actual stylistics and their actual flow. So I think that all of them knew that when they got in the booth with Kendrick, they had to come with it. And I just want to say like that shit was dope. Peekaboo is amazing. I think that um another thing to talk about, not just the lyricism of it, but also like the what would you call it, like the ad libs and like the other like the lingo, like certain stuff that he was saying that's like only our culture could kind of really understand it, and most people would look at it and be like that shit weak. Like even on the Joe Budden podcast, like they played Peekaboo and he was like, oh, that shit's for them niggas, like whatever. And it's like, yeah, it is for us and we understand it. And to the point of lyricism, like that is a lyrical skill that he did by using those like slangs and lingos and those ad libs in context because it's something that only we could understand. So I just want to speak for LA. Dodger Blue is the best song on the album. Let me tell it. Yeah,
Shout out to
that's it.
LA, man. I wish I was from LA. No, I
Shout
don't, but
You
out
I
to
do.
LA.
mark ass,
Yeah,
trick ass busters. Fuck out of here, buster ass nigga.
yeah,
Word.
nah.
I
Shout
felt
out to
all of that.
LA. 1000.
Word. Word. Where I'm a buster ass nigger. Buster, buster.
Markiana.
Goodbye.
I
Buster ass nigger.
what I need some Chuck Taylors.
I need some socks that go up to
I need
my
some
knees.
socks. I need some khakis, some new joints.
Milan, you need some twisted
Ooh,
bamboos.
twisted bamboos. What the
Okay.
girls wear? What else? What else
I
I
need to go to the
need?
meet.
The girls,
I
the
need to go to
twisted
the
bamboos.
market. I need to go to the swap market, and I need to give me some shit.
I need
You
a
know what's so
plaid shirt.
fire? So when I went to LA, my first time there, I actually met Anessa and she had took me to the swap meet
Her.
and
Damn, I remember that. That's crazy.
and we got jewelry and all types of shit. Like that shit was fire. Like I love her and I love LA. Shout out to you for joining this space. I really
Hey,
appreciate you.
and that was around the time that I think Nipsey passed,
Yeah.
and I had that piece on his legacy. So that for me, like I'm just very proud of him, of Kendrick, for tastefully like taking a sound that most people shit on and most people only write it off as like some gang banging shit, some murder music shit, whatever, and like making it artful. Like I'm just so proud of him, because even in a personal context, like when I walk in the room, people just like associate me as like, oh, she just a girl, like whatever the case is. And what put me on in the city as a DJ was playing the slaps. Like literally, like that's literally what put me on. They're like, damn, she DJ like a nigga, like she really know that shit. And he's giving me something from an artist that is like respected, to where it's like now they have to respect our sound. Like now they have to, because like the best of the best did it, and did it in a way where it's like, okay, and he didn't just do it and take from people. He actually put niggas on that you would have never even heard of had he not given them that floor and that opportunity.
Oh, and somebody in the comments said that is Drakeo, not Draco.
It's Draco. That's how you say his
Is
name.
this what somebody said in the chat?
You spell it Drake Keo with an EO, but
I
it's
thought it was
Draco
Draco
the
the ruler
ruler. Like
too, but some
I don't
yeah,
molasses
it's
argue
like
with
a
LA
Draco.
people. So when they
at
told
all.
me it was
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
Draco,
a
I went with
Draco
Draco.
gun. Like
it's Draco.
yeah,
And
it's
also,
Draco.
really quick, before we move on to the next person, if anybody's interested, my homegirl Crystal, the DJ, she actually put Draco, the ruler, voice on "Hey Now" with Kendrick. Uh,
I
okay,
already
yeah,
have
yeah.
it.
If anybody's
Yep.
interested in tapping in with that, shout out
Shout
to
out
Crystal DJ,
Crystal.
super duper DJ.
Last takes, last takes, last
Yeah,
takes.
cause my dinner's getting cold, y'all. So what's up?
Yeah, okay, let's go to Al and then KP and wrap up.
Yeah, real quick. Kiki Palmer said something really good in her interview with Club Shay Shay, and I think this is like the theme of his album. If you're the one, then you're the one, and that's it. And I think he's like realizing that for himself, and now like standing in his power, because he's realized like he's the one, and that's it. Like there is no period at the end. There is nothing else after that. But yeah, that
He
was it.
literally
Oh, and
said, "You still a god even when they say you ain't a god." So there's also that.
yeah, and quick sidebar. I love how my fave played in their faces with this GQ article, because my fave said, "What beef?" Because what beef do y'all think Lil Wayne is about to have with Kendrick? What beef? But that's all I got to take.
Oh, the one where everybody thought he was acting stupid, like acting like he didn't um
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
when
that
he
shit.
Future was acting like he didn't hear the song, he just woke up and it was there.
Oh,
I,
so
I, I love when he do
Al,
that
you're
shit.
saying that he was just playing on everybody's head top, like
He does that constantly. Like when do my faith is never gonna be no serious. When do you guys expect this nigga to be serious about some shit in a goddamn interview?
I wasn't even mad at him. I was more so mad at Metro for like kind of like walking back all the shit that he was doing, because he was the one on Twitter acting damn fool and did the BBL Drizzy beat. Then he was like, maybe I was acting a little crazy. Sit your dumb ass down.
I feel like with the whole Metro thing, and honestly, if him and Drake aren't cool, I feel like Drake. Wow, I have been fucking up my words. I need to stop smoking and cooking in this damn kitchen. But I feel like Metro, if they aren't gonna be cool, they gonna be cool. I feel like the falling out that they had was like some brother shit, and you know how when a nigga mad and y'all don't want to apologize, or like you and your friends, you like fuck that bitch. Like I don't want to talk to her right now, and y'all like troll each other. I really think this is what these two albums were. They were literally trolling this nigga,
Well, they got the
and
wrong nigga to help troll. I'll tell you that much.
I know that shit was funny as hell though.
facts.
But I think once again, the OVO little fake, I don't know, them bird ass stands, because they are birds. Them bird ass stands, I think they made it what it was. But I love the fact that they trolled the fuck out of them. And then my
Nah,
fave to come
brother.
in and say,
They knew what they
for them to
did. You can't go get a assassin and say, "Hey, we playfully shooting at this nigga." Then he starts shooting, and y'all like, "Ah!"
Wait, why are you killing people, bro? That's not
Whoa,
what we
whoa,
here
whoa.
for.
We said we was gonna come to wave the guns, not shoot the
You
guns.
put the gun in a nigga hand to be. Matter of fact, your first mistake was even entertaining that conversation. Like,
They really called that nigga like, we got a mission, and he said, "Oh, really?"
yeah, they called that nigga like a GTA mission. We got a side mission for you to do right quick. Like we know you working on the album, but come handle this right quick for us. Come hop on here
He
with Big
said,
Bro.
"I've been waiting on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shit."
Come help us troll this nigga real quick and go in on this nigga. Like unleash, like kill all the dogs. What that nigga say for all the dogs? Yeah, kill
All the
all the
dogs
dogs,
getting
bro.
buried.
Well, to the Metro thing, I think the other thing too is didn't he get accused of allegedly raping somebody?
Sure did. Metro got a weird case. Why is he
oh
around?
my
So it's
god.
almost like to me, I read that more so as nigga, let me backtrack because I look funny in the light too. I don't that's all I took that as.
I
Mm,
knew
Yep.
Metro was gonna backtrack when he deleted the tweets. Like, yeah, Metro's
Metro
a
mm,
whole
do got
different
a
story.
weird case. Why? He
mm.
around.
You better
All I
hit
gotta say
them
is
boom
though,
baps.
Future's that one messy ass nigga that you know. Like if some friends fall out, Future's that friend that's gonna side with one friend, and then when y'all get back cool, he gonna be smiling in your face again too.
What a
Future's a messy ass
Scorpio.
nigga.
Yeah, just a Scorpio. All right, who was the one that had
I
last
mean, baby
comments?
T said it.
Yeah,
KP.
that's me. Real quick, Lil Wayne tried to diss 50 Cent and it never worked out for Lil Wayne. So just for the for the kids out there. Um
You know
And
what?
50 Cent is not no lyrical person. So you trying to say like he tried to come at him lyrically and some shit and that didn't go off? Or was it some other street shit?
no, no, he came at him lyrically and 50 Cent didn't bother to reply, so it wasn't that good. So he's
Oh,
not gonna
okay.
mess with Kendrick.
Got you.
50 Cent is
Um
hilarious though. That's the thing. That's why ain't nobody gonna rumble with 50 because 50 is a comedian. And also Kendrick is also a comedian. Like it's equal parts hilarity and lyricism.
Nah,
And I love
Kendrick
that.
got a little bit of 50 in him, but he got lyricism with him too. So that's a dangerous combination. I ain't gonna lie.
And he's
yeah,
smart.
and Kendrick is in his prime right now, so you don't want to mess with a person in his prime. Just want to say on Reincarnated Key, I took all night.
Yes,
I
who
was
is he
searching.
talking about in this first verse? Because we know the second was Billie Holiday.
I what I was looking at was I searched the date, I searched the drugs, I searched the guitar, I searched the location, and the only thing I came up with was John Lee Hooker
That's what
because he had
everybody
a
was saying.
yeah. That's the only person that was playing the guitar around that time that had a hit song on the R&B charts that lived in that area. So I think that's who he's talking about. So if that's true, I hope it's true because I did a lot of goddamn work. But I hope it's true. But yo, shout out to Kendrick for many different reasons. But for me, I love the album. It's not a perfect album, but it doesn't have to be perfect to be great. And then
Because it's a
lastly, on the
mixtape,
point
that's why. Haha.
that too. And then on the last point of Kendrick leaving on a Hard Part 6, I think in every genre or every aspect of your life, people stand out. People stand out in your family. They have that successful person in your family that everyone goes to, or successful person at your job that always get the job done, and and sometimes that's you. And sometimes you got to make the decision and say, hey man, I got the bid. I can't stay around this area or stay around this whole thing. But I don't think he was upset that he left. He actually said in the song, it was my bad. I didn't know how to communicate.
Hmm.
So if you don't, that's why he said make a phone call, because that's what I didn't do when I when I was feeling that way. So I love the album. I'm gonna bump it. I love West Coast sound for my whole life and East Coast here. But shout out to the West Coast. I'm happy for you guys. You guys got a moment right now. Hold on to it tight. Run with that bitch. Make everyone respect you more. You always have my respect. Make people respect you more. And the only way you do that is you pour gas on that bitch. Don't pour sand on it. Just pour gas on that shit. Keep it running. Whoever's out there in the West Coast making dope music, please send that bitch to me. I will listen to that shit. And shout out to my favorite rapper, Rhapsody. I love that lady. She's the greatest rapper of all time. No, just for me. But yo, shout out to everyone in the space having a good time. I love the combo.
Thanks, KP, and thank you. And I'll hit you later, nigga. I'll hit you later.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna. I do feel like I see a lot of people saying that, like, "Oh, you can't call this a masterpiece off that, off one." My thing is this: there are certain artists who are an exception to that rule, where one listen might qualify it as a masterpiece, and we gotta be honest about that. The first time I heard "Good Kid, Mad City," that motherfucker was a masterpiece. Now, GNC, I think that's a masterpiece, but for an entirely different reason, for entirely different context. You know what I'm saying? Because of the aggression, because of the density, and then the fact that it's like 12 songs, so we was able to get all that concentrated energy, that concentrated Gemini energy.
Facts. I agree. It's like that video. Don't ask me how it's a classic, nigga. Listen to it, go to sleep, wake up, listen to it again, nigga. It's classic. I ain't gonna say it no more. It's classic. And on that note,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I think we did a good job breaking down GNX as much as we could. Kendrick, if you're listening, we are available for interviews. Just hit us up. You already been producing the podcast for us, so thank you.
I'm surprised y'all going on this long because I had went away for a little bit and
Well,
took
because
care of
they
some
shut
business.
us down. It was like it exited out, and then it was like,
I thought we
people.
still would be going, even if the shit was still up, to be honest.
Yeah, I think people were really passionate like about the album, and I didn't realize until today when people were like, "Yo, I was waiting, I was waiting, I was waiting." Like, I didn't realize y'all really be waiting on us. To be honest, like me personally, I didn't realize y'all be like waiting to have conversations with us. So when people was,
This the first time in a long time, and there's so many other albums that I wish we could do this too. Like I wish every now and then people did this with a Lil Durk and a G Herbo album. You know, it's so many. It's been a long time. Hell, even certain Drake albums, like like it's been a long time. Motherfuckers got around the corner and sat around and talked about an album from top for the music, not about no damn record sales, not about streams. None of that bullshit that Drake stands like to pull out. Just about the quality of the music and the impact of it and the lyrics and the themes and shit.
yeah, that's what we really like. I mean, we want to talk about music and culture, as a whole, but like, I guess for me, it was just like I know y'all be tapped in, but then it's just like the fact that when we dropped it, everybody was like, "Yo, I was waiting on yo." I was like waiting for somebody to do something. It's like, damn, okay, like for me personally, it was just like, all right, I like people want to talk to us. So that always feels good. Like we appreciate that. It's just for me, it was like a little like, damn, I didn't realize people want to talk to us. So um once again, we appreciate y'all niggas. We was actually only gonna do this for 2 hours, but we done stuck it out for damn near four, right? Three, four, something. Um
A good three.
make sure you follow.
Shout out to my nigga Larry. What up, nigga?
What? Okay. Make sure make sure you're following the distinguished panelists up here. We have Jan the Don. We have Big Milan. We have Jazz the Princess and Kia
In the
at the
garden.
Garden. Yes.
Hello.
Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're following the Reasonable Dialogue page. Please stay tapped in. We have some, exciting things coming soon. So, stay tapped in. Little Christmas gifts for you. And yeah, like, thank you so much for coming to the condo. Make sure you take all your shit. Leave the good weed behind.
Oh,
Clean
we
up
are
behind
definitely
yourself.
keeping the good weed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
leave the good weed behind. Y'all can take everything else with you. Make sure you turn the lights out on your way out. And yeah. Crispy chicken, fresh mustard.
Bye, y'all.